Hello and welcome back to the Sunday special episode of the U Up Podcast. I'm Jordana Abraham.
And I am Jared Freed. It is so good to be back here with you, Jordana. But it's a very special episode.
Very special.
We are joined by the Bachelor himself, Joey Grazadei. Thank you for coming on.
Thanks for having me.
Did I say your last name right?
You crushed that.
I crushed
intro.
it.
You crushed that intro. That was maybe the best I've had yet.
They say Joey on this. We
they
know.
Don't say your last name?
They say Joey on the show. Yeah, it's just Joey. Or you had a nickname last episode, Joey Joe.
Joey Joe.
What about Joey G?
Kelsey T.
Joey G's pretty
Joey
good.
G's another good one.
That sounds like a sub place.
Italian.
It does.
Joey G.
Are you Italian?
I am.
Okay.
They say on the show, Joey looks deeply into your eyes, and I'm getting it immediately.
He's got some great eyes.
What is
the
with
first
the
time
eyes, man?
I don't
Very
know.
mesmerizing
I'm just
eyes.
talking to you guys.
No,
hope
you're looking into my soul.
hope
This is
it's not-
great.
Can
Do
you
you guys
get
know this?
Can you get cast on Eyes Alone?
I think that's what got you cast.
Okay, I'll take it. I mean, it was through a Zoom screen, so I don't know if they could feel it, but
Wow.
Look, those are powerful. That could go through Zoom.
They are.
We're pumped to have you. People know who listen to this. I'm a Bachelor, commentator of
Yes.
some sort. Joey's been nothing but nice.
Host of The Bachelor. We haven't had a Bachelor on since, is it Gary or Jerry?
Gary.
It's Gary.
It's
Spelled
Gary.
It looks
we had-
like Jerry, but it's Gary.
Right.
Yes.
It's the most annoying thing that's ever
Since
happened.
Gary, we had a great time with Gary. We're excited to have you. You're, maybe more relevant to some younger modern dating.
I'll try my best. I lived on an island for a long time, so I'm maybe not
What
that
island?
relevant. Island of Kauai.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
That's his whole backstory. Tennis pro from Hawaii, but then
Not
Philly.
From. Yeah, that's why you put the quotation.
Right. I put the quote. So listen, you are he's beloved.
Yeah.
The ratings
I
have
said-
gone up this season.
I'm just grateful, man.
What do you give me the real Joey?
You're getting it.
We've had people on this podcast before that give us the PR. No, what is
It's crazy. I did not expect any of this. I think from anyone that's in my position, they just go through it and they're like, I just hope people don't get mad at me. Like, it's
Right.
such a tough position.
Especially men.
Yeah. I mean, people have they have their views. They look at what you do. You're under a microscope this entire time. So to tell you the truth, I keep using grateful because I didn't expect it. I thought it was going to be tough. I'll be the first to admit I'm chill. I lay in the background a lot. I thought everyone's gonna be like, this guy's boring. This is a tough season.
Right.
I'm just glad people are invested. They're enjoying it, and I'm just trying my best to keep people happy as much as I can. But again, I was just me, so it's what it is, and people have their opinions.
No one's been mad at you? I feel like that's
People will
impossible.
I'm sure someone said something.
I'm sure.
I mean, it's actually incredible. I gotta
Beloved.
say, beloved. I'm sitting here
I asked
picking
Jared,
apart the show
as a Bachelor expert.
I am the guy.
Give me the
I know.
Joey
I was gonna
take.
say Jared's
Yeah.
got something up his sleeve.
No, I'm.
No, he had only positive things to say.
I was like total mensch. I was like, this guy. He definitely. You're like good at it, which is crazy.
You should never be good at this. Let's let that be known.
Well, that's the strange part. What's
Right.
wrong with you?
A lot of things, and you're finding that out.
Well, you go on the show. You're extremely good at asking questions in ways that, like, a lot of the things that The Bachelor gets made fun of, the men especially, is like they just have like canned lines they'll say to someone's like horrific backstory.
Right.
And Joey, every date he goes on, and I'll say it
Thank
for
you
him.
for sharing that with me.
Right. It's like an interview that they barely listened. So Joey goes on these dates. This guy, every date, the woman on the date will go, and I got something to tell you. And you're like, and I'm like, oh, every story is more heart, wrenching than the last.
Yeah.
How was there a point on the show where you're like, here it comes, like that you were like,
Well,
what could the next one be? Or did you not notice?
The funniest thing is there's so much more to these conversations, right?
Right.
But the common, you can call it a trend, or just what was amazing about these women was they all came from very different parts of life. They've had a lot of tough things happen to them. So
Yeah.
when you're trying to get to know someone on a one-on-one, you want that safe space to be able to talk about it. So you always expect something. Like when I
Right.
was on the show, I took my one-on-one time, my first one, to explain that I came from a non-traditional family and my dad came out. So that was a big thing I wanted to make sure I had the time to do. And I think everyone has that. But this season, it just seems like each episode, when the one-on-one comes, they just keep showing it. And, as in my position, all you could do is, like you said, try to be an active listener and just not just say thank you for sharing, but like reason with them, have something to talk about, being like, from what you said, I see this, and I'm just trying my best to let you know, thank you for sharing, but I actually am invested in what you're sharing.
Maybe that's what helps, is that you have your own story, and that encourages people. Oh, I can
To
open up. He's just been
'Cause
vulnerable with me.
Vulnerability begets vulnerability.
They've
said it
all
on the show
said they
before.
felt very comfortable, and I think that's something that I take with me, that I take pride in, that I at least create a space that they felt like they could share. So it feels like they're sharing a lot, but yeah, there's a lot of fun. There's other things too. It's just they hit on those one-on-ones.
I have theories on this. I think a lot of it has to do with that he's a tennis player. A tennis build for a man, very inviting to a woman.
Yeah?
Because they're lean, but they're strong. So
Okay.
I think there's like I'm a
Usually
Kleenex box. Joey comes on like I can see that structurally you're easy to talk to.
Okay.
Comforting.
This is the
Tennis
first time someone's
instructor.
broke down my structure is why I'm inviting.
This
But
is why I'm
Jared,
here.
I'll
This is
take
why
it,
we
man.
get paid the big bucks.
I know, different perspectives.
That's
I'm
right.
here. I'm here for it.
How, as a tennis instructor, how important is it that a woman knows how to play tennis?
It's definitely not the base package of it. Most of them don't know how to play. So I
Right, not
think,
well.
I think my biggest thing on tennis in general is they know it's going to be a big part of my life.
Okay.
But there's so much more to me than just being a tennis pro. So I love sometimes when they don't have a background or they don't have any interest in it, because it's something I can teach them or something they can be invested in. But there's so much more to me than that. So I'm fine if tennis isn't their
Also,
thing.
being a tennis pro prepares you to be on The Bachelor in a different way. You're talking to a lot more women than most men do.
Yeah.
That's true.
A lot more women in a non-sexual way. So you're not if you were a creep, you wouldn't be getting a lot of business as a tennis pro.
Of course.
So like these are like good, it's kind of like the Miyagi thing of like wax on, wax off. I'm showing I'm 39 right now. I'm referencing Karate Kid.
We know Karate Kid.
Okay,
No one
thank
forgets
God.
that one.
I just looked at Joey. He's like, what the fuck
What?
is
Who
this?
the hell is Mr.
idiot
No,
talking?
I know Mr. Miyagi.
But wax on, wax off, clean the fence, and then all of a sudden he knows how to fight.
Yeah.
Right.
So it's like you've had wax on, wax off with being a tennis pro, I'm sure.
You have those, like, let's say a lesson, you have an hour lesson, but the first 5 to 10 minutes is always elevator pitch, talking, getting to know someone, and
Right.
finding a way to connect with so many different type of people. And on the end of the day, most things what I do on a tennis lesson is just have people be seen. They
Yeah.
just want a fun part of their day. They just want someone to talk to
Relax.
and just like take their mind off the everyday world. So to be good at what I do, you sometimes just need to be inviting. And I guess that can translate to being on the show.
Why'd you run away to Hawaii?
Oh, why did I run away?
What happened?
It's pretty
Tell us.
beautiful. It was pretty beautiful.
I mean,
but what's the
Hawaii,
trauma?
Hawaii
No,
has that thing where it's like you go and you're like, I could live here.
This is what I'm talking about. Hawaii, Ski Bum in Aspen.
Yep.
Yeah.
These are all like adult, like moving to Israel for a lot of Jewish women. Yeah. These are all like adult things people do to escape becoming an adult, but have a good reason to do it.
Yeah.
So I'm not saying this sounds
No.
mean. I hope this doesn't sound as mean.
It doesn't.
There's some ski bum in Aspen being like, I gotta get my life together. You
felt
go to
it.
Hawaii, you don't just go because I'm gonna start my life. It feels like a little bit of a stop and.
I had such a back and forth with it. So and to explain my background a little more too, like I went to Hawaii, I left, and then I went back. So it is a place that you do escape to. Everyone says, especially the island I lived on in Kauai, so low key. Once you find out you can live in Hawaii, it is sometimes very hard to live anywhere else because you can become accustomed to the lifestyle, the pace of the life. Hawaii time's a real thing. Everything's slower. No one gives a shit about anything. Everything's just so much more chill and it's so less superficial that it's a bubble and you fall in love with that bubble. But it's
also
unrealistic.
I would also understand, and this happens to me when I'm in LA, I'm always thinking on New York time.
Mm-hmm.
So like when you're in Hawaii, how many time zones you are away, there's kind of like, you're kind of given the excuse
Right.
of I'll get to it Tuesday.
No one ever gets mad at you if you don't respond. I'm a 6-hour time difference. Right. The East Coast. Like,
Yeah, that would be tough from New York.
Yeah. Everything's
All everyone
different.
does is get mad at you.
You're in a bubble. And I mean, I went to Hawaii initially just because like, why not? But I fell in love with it. And then I started going to visit friends on the East Coast. I'm having like panic attacks driving down the street. I'm like, I need to get back to reality. This is crazy. This isn't a 1-lane road anymore.
Right.
It takes time to adjust. And yeah, the second time I went back, I got out of a relationship. I won't be the one to lie that like I wanted to go back to what felt comfortable. And pretty early on, I was like, this place is so special, so beautiful, has done so much for me, but I'm not going to find my person here. There's just no way I'm going to be able to
It's
find
too
someone.
insulated.
The island in general, like I was lucky enough to get intertwined with a lot of people that lived there. I got to know locals from where I worked and they accepted me. I made a lot of great connections, but everyone knows everyone on that island.
Right.
So I've never really felt comfortable I was going to meet a local. And then I don't know, the whole tourism thing, it just doesn't hit for me.
People are-
It's,
and
it's
you
so
were-
in and out.
Right. So you did what every person, in their 20s
Of
does
course.
when they don't feel like they're in the right geographical location to date optimally, they go on The Bachelor.
Go on a reality TV show. Why would I not?
Right.
It's the next step. I thought this was part of the plan that we were talking about.
Yeah, when I went on The Bachelor,
well, that's what I want to know. Like, how did you wind up in the Bachelor world?
Total luck. DM. So someone DM'd me. I was
producer.
Producer DM'd me. I was in definitely a different spot. To be honest, I was thriving in Hawaii at the time. Like I think that's also
good
why
build, tennis instructor.
I got in a really
bunch
good
of rich guys'
position.
wives.
I got in a really good position at my job. I wasn't just teaching tennis. I was also like a life ambassador for the place I was working at. So I was taking people on beach trips. I was doing surf
A
lessons.
life ambassador.
Yeah. My job was literally to invite them to the resort and go on adventures with them and explain why it'd be fun to live here. Like that's no joke
Wow.
what the job was.
That's like giving the tour of like the best place.
And it was such a cool job. I was in such a great environment. I loved everyone I was there with. But again, the walking thing was dating was tough there. And
and you're getting people. The tourist thing. This is like a problem people have in tourist towns. Like,
correct.
Women in Nashville. We toured. We did this show on the road. It was different problem. No place was a dating Eden.
Yeah.
So Nashville, they'd be like, all these people visiting. Bachelor parties are just, coming in
Not
at
a place to
11.
meet someone
Correct.
serious.
It's harder.
Did you feel like Adam Sandler in 50 First Dates?
yeah, everyone always asks. I love that movie, by the way.
Sorry if
No,
I
I will claim I was not the bad Adam Sandler in that movie. I was respectable. That guy had some issues in the beginning of that movie. I don't even know if that movie would last anymore nowadays.
I don't think that would hold. Yeah.
No, but no, it wasn't ever like that because again, who I am as a person in general, it sounds so vanilla and dumb, but it just never felt right. I never liked the idea of trying to show someone Hawaii and then just like kick them to the curb after.
Right.
I wanted to meet someone. I wanted a genuine connection. So naturally, you go on The Bachelor.
That's exactly. Right. I mean, now you are the Bachelor, which
how
is
it all
like,
happened is
incredible.
crazy.
Yeah.
You have two sisters, right?
Yep, older and younger.
Older and younger. That's got to help.
Yeah, I think that, I grew up in a household where my mom was very involved in our life growing up. I had obviously a very sensitive dad with him coming out and being gay. Like I've been around a lot of feminine woman energy my entire life and they've all been so kind and I learned a lot, I think, as much as you can. I will be the first to admit I don't know anything about women because no men
Look
should.
at this
No
guy's a
man
pro.
should.
You don't have to do that here.
Yeah,
I
you
do
can come
though.
on and say you know everything.
No,
That's
no
the
one
best way-
does.
yeah,
But
yeah.
I think that I was lucky with how I was brought up. I'm so grateful for them to just like, I learned more than I think most people do.
Right.
Right.
And also you're told when you're an idiot, when you sound bad.
Hell yeah, they'll tell me all day.
I mean, this is, this podcast is just me being told I sound like an idiot and giving theories.
No, you're
and,
giving us the the take of the person that probably doesn't want to date you.
Well, the male perspective, yes. The
Otherwise known as the male perspective.
Otherwise
right?
known.
Everyone needs it.
Yeah.
It just gives a little more rough around the edges.
a little, I try to be, edible.
You are. You are.
Thank you.
You got the good touch on it.
I appreciate it. Should we play the game?
Let's play the game.
Let's play
do
the
it.
game.
I'm in.
So the whole premise of this game started is that I claim to be 10% away from any guy you're dating. Okay?
Yes. Okay.
So, because when I answer things, I'm answering for men in general, which is hard to do.
Yeah.
Speaking for all men.
Speaking for all men. Now, our producer, Jorge, refuted me. Said, I'm nothing like you, you monster.
You monster.
He took me out back. He said, stop saying this shit. And so we played a game where we would answer questions to see how far away we were in answering the questions.
I'm so intrigued how
we
this
are
is
going to
gonna go.
ask dating questions.
Yes, I'm going to ask
Jordana's
the questions. I'm going to facilitate.
We're going to do a tennis rally of
Yes.
sorts.
So you
love
guys
it.
will write
Yeah.
it down, and then when we're done, we'll both share. So
I'm
there's no
intrigued and
changing the
nervous at the
answers.
same time.
It's
It's going to be fun.
nerve-wracking.
It's
It's
going to be
fun.
fun.
But we answer these dating questions and just answer as
honestly
as you
as
can.
For
you
sure.
can.
First
Right.
thing that comes
Again.
to your head.
Obviously, this is a press tour, but
Yeah. Let's screw it up
as
right
honestly
now.
as you
Right.
can. Right.
Listen, we're not going to ask you who Ruth Bader Ginsburg
Don't
is.
bring her up. How dare you?
Bye.
I got PTSD in this office. You can't do that
It's a
to
safe
me.
place. It's a safe
It's not a
place.
safe
Name
place.
this.
It's a safe-ish
Name
place.
this
Name
Supreme
this
Court
politician.
Justice.
Yeah.
If this is where you guys went, I might
How
walk
many,
out.
how many presidents are there? Okay.
I saw that video go viral. I was like, wait a minute, that's what we take. I was like,
No. It's our job as women to destroy.
that's
Yeah.
right.
No, I'm just
That-
kidding.
all right,
Love
let's
it.
do the game.
It's also, but just so you know, it's Jared's birthday.
Happy birthday.
Thank you
man.
very much.
I felt like
I'm
I had
sorry
to
you
say.
have to
Thank
spend
you.
your birthday with me. I hope
No,
it's on a
this is-
good
no,
one.
this is-
birthday gift.
This is my gift. Love
it.
I am a fan, Joey. I gotta
appreciate
say,
it, brother.
sometimes I get a vibe from people. Listen. I fuck with the show.
Yeah.
I like the show. The reason I like it is the same reason I like doing this podcast. Is like it gives me an opportunity to have an opinion on something that no one would ask for otherwise.
Right,
So
right.
like when I watch you interacting with the women, to me when someone asks me why. I'm sure you've gotten this. The Bachelor's stupid. People get very angry about
Yeah.
The Bachelor.
Yeah.
Because they're messing with something that maybe they're having trouble with. Love. So when someone's like, "Oh, it's fake," I'm like, no. The Bachelor's professional wrestling. Okay, it might be the storyline might be zhuzhed, but they still got to take the bumps. You still got to jump off the top rope. You still have to first date, first kiss, breakups, all those hugs,
9 yards, yeah.
all these things, revealing your story
Right.
and reacting to it. So that's like the beauty of The Bachelor. But some people, I have made fun of it. There's some people in mind right now where I've made fun of them. I've like seen
Can't
them.
handle it.
They don't even make eye contact with me. And you immediately made your presence heard, sent me a nice message, and I respect that a lot. And I don't believe that I'm ever being mean, in my opinion.
No,
Yeah,
I
and
think
you
you
can't-
just have a different perspective on it, and you tried. I love what you're doing. I think
Thanks.
you're just trying to have people have a different view and enjoy it, but understand that some of it is a little bit like we should laugh at some of the stuff that's happening.
Some people can't have fun with the show at all.
Yeah.
Like you notice that just from talking
And those
to
people are even more fun to make fun of.
Exactly.
Right. Right. No, you get people that will be like, people who have left the show have to tell me they never watch anymore.
Right.
I don't care. You can watch whatever the fuck you want. But then they go, "Oh, wait, the way you're watching is so much fun." I'm like, yeah, it's called having a fucking personality and a sense of humor.
Right.
How about you lighten the fuck up?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
all right.
Yeah, I get it.
So let me just say, I'm a huge
I
Joey
appreciate you,
fan,
man.
and this was my birthday gift. Thank
I
you.
appreciate you, man. I'm glad to be
You
here.
didn't even know you were the gift.
Yeah.
No one told me.
We almost
I
would
would
have
have
you
worn a
pop out of
bow.
a cake.
I know. I would
but
have
it
worn
was
a
little
bow. We
much.
would have came in a little
Got
different.
a cake. All right. Well, we're going to start off with just some logistical questions.
Okay.
How old are you?
Hey, how you gonna do this to me on my
love it.
birthday?
On your birthday.
It just changed.
All right.
That's
28,
right.
30. I think the context is important.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a good context to have. We are generationally different.
Yes.
What are you under? I think I'm still a millennial technically.
Are you a millennial?
Yeah, I'm not a Gen.
You're
Gen
like the
Z or
youngest
Gen
of the
X.
millennials.
I think I'm
Yeah.
on the edge, but I'm definitely. A
Well,
millennial.
I think you're a millennial because you've already kicked off. I don't look at spoilers, by the way. I don't ever look at spoilers. So I am present to today.
Good.
February 21st. You kicked off all the women that I would consider too young for me.
Okay, that's fair.
Even though you're 10
that's a
years
fair
older than
claim.
him.
Even though I'm,
11 years, 11 years
20
older.
years older than. No, but I noticed.
Thanks, Leo.
You. It seems as though you want a sparring partner, not someone who's fallen in love with you right away.
100%.
It seems as though you also you easily sussed out the people that were just like, I'll fall in love with anybody.
Yeah, I think it's a tough situation for anyone, but definitely looking for a partner. That's the best way to
Right.
describe it.
Okay.
What age do you feel?
Oh, good. Right away. I'm so ready for Jared's. I think I'm going to be forever 25 for a bit.
Okay.
That was the
I've said
year
this
where
about
something
men.
changed. Yeah.
What did I
Forever-
say?
forever 25?
Men
Yeah.
are 25 until they're 80.
I'm forever 25
Okay.
until I start to feel something different. This is when you kind of get stuff a little bit more figured out. I don't want to go back to 24, 23 ever again.
right.
Feel that.
But I think this is when things start
Your
to get a
spirit
little
is
bit
25.
more.
Well, it's called the quarter life crisis for a
There it
reason.
is.
You're
There it
coming to
is.
terms with this is what life is.
But you had to add 3 for yours because 25 would be
Right.
ridiculous for you to write
yeah.
down.
Who do I think I am?
Ridiculous.
Seems a
Come
little
on, you can
insane.
see the lines under my eyes.
Okay. What is the longest length of a relationship that you've been in?
Ooh. Look at us.
Look at this.
Oh,
Look at
wow.
us.
I knew.
twinsies.
Listen.
You
Two
guys
peas
might
in a
be-
pod.
Joey's a Jared, not a Jorge.
We found out. Okay. How long should you date someone before deciding you want to be in a relationship?
It's funny because I've already answered some of these questions, and I'm like, I don't have to. Maybe I've changed. Maybe I've
Yeah, we'll
evolved.
find out. This was months ago. And for you, obviously, I'm going to say in a non-bachelor context.
Yeah,
Right.
no.
Right.
Yeah, non-bachelor context
Yeah,
for
the
sure.
non-
We
Bachelor.
understand it's a different world.
Yes.
Okay.
All these questions are for non-bachelor context.
I would say
I'm even gonna do a little adjustment here because
Okay, ready?
All right.
I had 3 months.
2 or 3 dates because I think it's
Okay.
hard.
Oh,
It's
wow.
hard. It's hard
Okay.
to do. Like I think it's hard to go off time. I would think more of like when you spend time with them because if you're really into someone, you might have 2 or 3 dates happen in like a week and a half. But
Right.
You got to have some time
Right.
with them. You got to figure it out.
But do you feel like after 3 dates, you could be like, I want to be
Yeah,
exclusive?
I want to be exclusive. I've always been an
You felt that
exclusive
way.
guy too. I don't really like kind of playing the field. That's why I went on The Bachelor.
Okay, you're on 3. That's fair.
All right.
And you- good answer. And you're in 3 months.
I'm in 3
I
months
think you're
territory.
down from 8 months.
Yeah,
Was
I
it
think
8 months last
before.
time?
Yes.
No, I think and I'm getting lower. I'm more towards Joey on this one. I
Okay.
think.
If it takes 3 dates in 8 months, that's an own problem
Well,
right there.
right. Well, I guess 3 dates in 8 months for me is like, no, the 3 dates in a month
That sounds right.
sounds about right.
sounds
I
right.
think a month.
Yeah.
If I was to change my answer, probably a month.
Okay, that makes sense.
All right.
Yeah. All right. What makes you marriage material?
I'm so interested to see your answers here.
I'm excited to see both of yours. And again, Joey, we want the real answers.
I know.
Okay.
It's going to be lame, but it really is the truth of what I've learned. So, and I don't even know if I spelled that correctly. So, no
Well-
spell check here. Now, this is your time to tune out of YouTube just for a little bit.
Yeah, the spell check is.
It's hard. You don't get autocorrect here. All right, Jared.
it's terrible.
Okay,
He's
here we
writing
go.
a
All right,
novel.
ready? Okay. Jared says,
Here it is. I knew there was going to be something
my
about that.
strong medium D and my dinner ordering skills.
See, that
That
is
makes
a
you-
good answer.
That's a good answer.
I
that
want
makes
to
you marriage
change mine.
material.
Marriage material.
Mine's so lame compared to that.
I
Good
think-
listener and
I
communicator.
think we might have a Jorge. I think we might have a Jorge on our hands.
It's the truth. That's a lot of
Okay.
times that's what women want. Just someone
Good.
that can listen to their problems and communicate through
That's
them.
true. We just
Right.
want
It's a
someone
big
who
thing.
listens.
Right. Well,
Or they
I
want
think
a fire medium D apparently. So there we go.
strong medium.
Strong.
And,
How dare me say
Don't
that?
undersell.
here's the other thing I'll say. I think being a good dinner orderer is a way of saying good listener.
That's fair.
So we are 5%. We're
Never-
10% away.
We'll
Yeah,
never
yeah.
forget the woman who wrote in and said the guy who just kept ordering food she didn't like, and not even asking her.
Didn't ask her once.
Yes.
That's not a good communicator.
Yeah.
That's bad.
Okay. So you
Okay.
guys are saying similar things. Okay.
And Joey has strong medium D energy.
Yeah, okay.
So
I'll take it. I'm gonna go no comment on
right.
that one, but I'll take it.
So I'll say that we're exactly alike.
We're not
Okay.
on ABC anymore.
Okay. That's the clip.
Okay. How long should you date before getting engaged? Again, non-bachelor
Non-bachelor.
world.
Non-bachelor
Yeah.
world.
Yes.
Okay. I got mine.
Yeah, I'm gonna change this up a little.
I think
bit.
age matters in this
it
too.
does, doesn't it?
Yes, it does. We always say there's pre-30 and
Right.
post-30.
I mean, I'm like even.
I'll be honest with this one. I think this is probably the best way to go about it.
I guess I'm answering for me.
Do it. I want to see yours first.
Yeah, I think. Okay.
God, my handwriting sucks.
Mine's very good, so don't make
Yeah.
yourself feel bad.
Wow. Okay.
1 year.
Yeah, 1
Yeah.
year.
And,
Okay.
I think that's where you're at in your life. And the reason I said 2.5 to 3 is because I've only gotten close to my real life before on getting engaged, and I
Right.
was getting close to that 2.5 year relationship.
That
it
checks
was
out.
it was when I was thinking about it, and I think if I did it and nowadays it would definitely be different. But that's all I can use as a
Yeah, you had to answer this on the episode. I thought you did a great job this week.
the timeline.
Yeah, when they were asking about his timeline, and I was like, well, men don't really think about it that much.
No.
Like when you were asked, that was probably the first time you thought about it.
It's something that I think I thought about, but again, I have to preface that I thought about that also on the Bachelor timeline.
Right.
So I would not usually be the person to be like, I need to be engaged for 2 to 3 years, but this does happen quickly, and it's a little bit different where if it is something that ended up happening for me, like I would want to have more of a longer engagement because we haven't gotten to know each other as
Right.
well as we could.
Right.
Yet.
It's not like you've already been dating.
So
for
my
years.
usual timeline would have been a year to a year and a half of being engaged because I would have thought before I've already known them for 2 to 3 years, and that changes what your usual timeline is.
Right.
Yeah, it's just one of those. And I was watching that. It's funny that, like, I'm not asking for people to like let guys off the hook, but you have to understand, like, there is no like, well, in 2 years I'll be here.
Yeah.
And then I'll be here. And I was in Hawaii then.
Yeah.
You know, it's just, and like,
Right. That's all we're thinking
that's
about.
all,
Yeah.
you know, so like, so if it's all you're thinking about, and we're thinking zero about it.
Right.
When you ask a guy about it, and he's like, I'm 15. You know, like
Yeah,
then
we're already thinking about how far behind we are given how long this conversation's been.
right. You've been behind since birth.
Yes. Okay. What's the most amount of people that you've dated at the same time? And when I say dated, I mean like going on dates with.
Yeah, going on
Yes.
dates with.
How many people have you had in a roster at once? This is not
roster.
including The Bachelor.
I'm very curious over there.
He's writing along.
I know. He might be
My
writing
numbers.
names.
Infinity.
The silence is
Oh my
definitely.
God. Yeah.
Wow.
Dude.
Okay.
Jesus, what is going on?
Hold on. All right.
Yeah. Oh,
Three
look at
beautiful and
look
smart
at
women
that answer.
Who deserve the world?
That's right.
Three
Unbelievable.
beautiful and smart women.
One
you
person.
only date one person at a time.
Yeah, I
Like-
wasn't lying when I said I was always.
And
a
you don't think
one-woman
that they
guy.
were beautiful or smart.
You know what? Jared's winning.
One person at a time. You
No.
go on. Okay, so have you
I've
ever been on a
never-
dating app?
I lasted, I think, a week on Hinge when I was in Hawaii.
A
Okay.
week.
Yeah, and again, I've never been in the position where I've taken someone out on a date and then taken a different person on the date without ending it with that person. Or, like,
Really?
I always
Wow.
I'm weird like that. Like I like being more
The
upfront.
perfect bachelor quality.
Right.
I guess.
Well, maybe not.
What's the
actually.
perfect? What's the perfect one to not have like a
Yeah.
People magazine being like, we got the X
Right.
here
Yeah. It just-
with
it-
some grind
always
in our
felt weird.
gears.
Right. Well, is
always
that
felt
due
weird.
to also having like dated a lot in such a small community?
Yeah, maybe it was because of Hawaii. I mean, I did go straight there after college, and I don't think college you really. I mean, I'll
not
speak for
dating,
myself.
yeah.
I didn't really take a lot of girls on dates. It
Right.
was more like you're meeting a lot of people, and whatever ends up you having a relationship with someone. It's kind of a little different in college, so I don't really count dating until you get to the real world after. And it wasn't a thing in Hawaii, so
If you feel like if you were dating in New York City,
might be different.
you might be.
Might be different. And I've had friends have a lot of success on dating apps. For me, I love the natural introduction.
That would be
I
like-
love it.
That would be the hottest thing. I only date one woman at a time. That's like with the dream.
Yeah.
Well,
or
it is
the dream
my-
is having his answer where he calls them all beautiful, smart, and kind
Thank
people.
you, Joey.
That's what he says so we'll get away from him when he needs to break up with
No,
us.
I think the three happens from to me, three doesn't feel mean to say
Yeah.
because it's like, okay, I've been on a first date with someone and then I have
Right.
another first date maybe planned next week. I've been on 2 dates with someone else. I might be off of that.
I think that's more normal. I definitely understand that I'm an outlier. It's just how I operate. It's just something that I
one
feel
a
woman
gem
man.
is what we're.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Love it.
a
incredible.
little different.
Okay.
Okay. Hardest part about dating as a public figure.
Wow.
I guess you haven't really dated as a public
Yeah,
figure.
but I can get a feel of what's going to be hard.
Okay. He's like, I already know.
Okay.
Okay, let's see it.
The paparazzi.
Everyone in your business. No,
Business.
that's I'm
Yeah.
joking, but there's no
Yeah.
paparazzi here. But
Everyone in your
Also,
business.
by the way, I know that's not how you spell business. I was trying to be funny. Let's make it be known. And also, I probably would have messed it up if I tried to spell business correctly. So that
okay.
was easy way out.
You're
that's a
safe.
good way.
You're safe here. You're
don't
safe-ish.
worry, we're not going to ask you any female lawmakers.
I'm just having PTSD from last time, you know?
Now, no, I think everyone in your business.
I think that's the same.
It's
you
the
have
same
the
idea.
Same real
I mean,
answer.
It's
that-
new. It's something that's very odd because usually you only have to deal with the people in your normal life, your family, your friends, but there's a lot more people invested now, and it's all new. So I'm figuring
right.
it out every day.
The beauty of being the Bachelor is that you kind of you're like this post Hunger Games existence.
I love his takes.
And if I could speak for you, you're going to have a following,
Yeah.
as you already do. Do you go back to tennis? But do you do tennis in a different way than maybe you would have thought of before?
Yeah.
Because I think going on a reality show with a thing is a good thing, and your thing is very specific and good. Like I remember a bunch of seasons ago, there was that guy. He was a trainer. His classes took on a different type of dimension.
I'm sure. For me, I haven't got there yet. I'm obviously taking each part of my life one step at a time, and there's a lot I have to get through first before I even think about what's coming next. But the scary part about tennis is that I love teaching tennis because of actually what it was for me, which was to connect with people and get to know people. My fear of if I go back to teaching a ton is people are going to come to the lessons acting like they already know me because they watch me and they're taking it for that. So then I don't feel like it might not be as natural as I'd love it to be. So I might go about teaching tennis in a different way than I have in the past. What it's going to be, I don't know yet, but I know it's going to be a part of my life because it gives so much to me. I don't do it really for any other reason other than it fills my cup up every day.
Because I already saw you doing stuff with the Tennis of America, or did you already work with them?
We did. Last time I was here in New York, I got the ability to USPTA, who's a certification that I have. They wanted to at least do a special because they love seeing buzz around tennis. Right. I'll be the first person to say tennis is such a big sport overseas, but it doesn't hold the same traction it used to in the 80s here. That's when it was big, when you had the McEnroes, everyone else that was kind of like in love with the sport, and it's just not. It doesn't hold the same weight anymore. So to see a buzz around, it's amazing, and if I can do something for it, I will. But I'm not sure what it's going to be yet.
Well, controversial question. What do you think about pickleball?
It is a controversial question.
I don't want to upset anyone.
You're good. My thought process
for old out of shape people who can't hack it.
If you can't beat them, you got to join them. So when I was in Hawaii at the end of it, I was teaching pickleball maybe almost half of the amount of time I was teaching tennis.
Really?
Because it was such an introductory thing. And, we had a pickleball court. People wanted to learn, and I was the person that was introducing them to it. I was in no ways as trained and into it as I was in tennis. Tennis is my love and where I've put a lot of hours into teaching, but people love it. And at the end of the day, tennis, you're just hitting the ball over the net with a stick. It's another way to do it.
Would you call it like a cousin?
Yeah, it's a cousin. I think tennis has more levels to it from what I've seen, and I have more love for it. But what pickleball is doing is getting people to try something, get outside, do something fun. It gets the joke of old people, but almost anytime you get someone to pick up that paddle and play,
people love it.
They love it. Yeah. And that's all you can ask for.
It's more accessible.
And it is a lot easier to pick up. I can't pick 3 people off the street and get you having fun playing doubles right away. It will take time. You'll need me to feed you the ball. I can pick 3 people off the street and get them to play pickleball within 20 minutes and having a ball. That's hard to beat.
That's the take.
You seem very passionate. I love that.
Yeah. I have a question. You mentioned on the show the need to be perfect. Is that a tennis thing? Because tennis has a reputation. Alone country club sports have the kind of the reputation of like a whiplash that like you have this overbearing coach and it's you, all eyes on you. It might be. You got to win the match. Do you think that?
It could be. I think that, I picked up tennis late. My uncle was a head tennis pro. I think you know about Uncle Joe.
Joe made a splash on last season. His Uncle Joe came on. It was a weird. Did you ever have a talk with him afterwards?
Yeah, no, we talked about it. I think what you saw of my Uncle Joe, he's so quick story to it. He was the person that taught me how to play tennis. Okay. I spent every summer with him for about 5 to 6 years in Chicago, living with him, and he taught me how to play, introduced me to the country club lifestyle. I owe everything of today still to that man because he put me in a different atmosphere.
But it was very coach pupil. It was very like, this is the way he came on the show felt
Jared's
very much
I'm going to tell you what's wrong with
that. No, he's very critical of me. He has always been someone that has wanted the best from me, wanted the best out of me, how he handles things. He doesn't have the loving touch, but I will say at the end of the day, I had way too much loving touch in my life. Like my mom, my dad, my sisters, everyone, as he called, coddled me. And my uncle was the first person to put some grit in me for a little bit and be like, you need to toughen up. So
I kept hearing that side. I just kept imagining like Joey in the rain. And he's like, hit it again! Hit it again! Let's go!
So he's been my coach. He's been my mentor in a lot of ways. So we have a different relationship. But to answer your question about the perfect thing, I think most of all, maybe tennis, you're on an island when you're playing a sport, you're going to be critical of yourself. I just always have been from when I grew up. And I don't feel the pressure of it. It just naturally comes out more when you're insecure. And this setting brings out that insecurity. Right. So
well, we're here to tell you, you are perfect.
I'm not.
You're doing a great job. I told you, beloved Bachelor. That's hard to do.
Thanks, Jay.
It is hard. I mean, it's going to get harder.
Yeah, the hard part hasn't even happened yet, too, which is why, I'm waiting to see how it all shakes out. Again, as I will always say through this, I did the best job I could. No one can handle this perfectly well. I talked to people about it that have been in my shoes, and that was the best advice I got. Don't try to be perfect, but it's really hard not trying to be because you want to do your best because these women deserve it, and it's hard.
And then there's a episode called the Fantasy Suite episodes where they're like, yeah, you and 3 women just go ahead, do whatever you're going to do.
Let's see what he does.
Right, and then just a bunch of women going, oh, okay, well, yeah.
Yeah, it's hard to handle that situation perfectly.
But the women, they go, fuck all 3. They go, oh, okay, great, the feminist. Like she's good to go. And the man does it. We're like, there's a little, but again, not to say it shouldn't be that way. This is just how it is.
It's the setup of it. But yeah, how you handle that, it's a tough go.
And I know Joe's got some big dog in him. I know I can sense
Joey G.
Joey G. Yeah, come on. Okay. I saw it in Gary.
Yeah,
I see it in Joey.
Gary might have that big dog energy.
A little bit more. Yeah. I gotta say, Gary, I could. He came in here. It was so funny. He goes. He knew me, but like didn't know that he had been sent my things before.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I made one joke about how one of the women was wearing a low cut dress and. It was the one he ended up with. It was Teresa.
Yeah,
and I go, look at Teresa. And I zoomed in and on her chest going, she brought the closers. And he walked in and he goes, the closers! Like, it's like the one thing he remembered. I'm like, big dog Gary.
See, if we let him say that, you're gonna be fine.
You're good. I'll be your translator.
I'm just smiling and nodding over here. If you can watch the YouTube, I'm smiling and nodding.
Smiling and nodding. All right. What's the craziest thing someone has said to you on a date?
Oh, wow.
Ooh.
I'm so interested on Jared.
You guys don't have one. We can skip it.
I'm trying to think. This is,
I have like more of a broad thing.
Okay.
I'm excited for yours. Mine's not going to be as good as yours, but it'll be a little Hawaii nod.
All right. What do you do? And I don't know what I'm going to do.
So I asked someone what they did for work, and they were like, I don't know what I'm going to do.
Oh, okay.
It's all downhill.
I go, what? What do you mean?
What is this, the career fair?
Right. I was like, they're like, what should I do? What do you think? They like actually looked at me.
Whatever
like, what
you want me to do.
What do you think?
I want your
and
advice.
I was like, oh, and you're trying to be nice. Like I felt very much like Joey on the Bachelor. Like, well, yeah. Right. Yeah, I was like, this happened on a date.
Not motivational speaker.
No. So that to me is like crazy, but
mine
it's like
was
normal.
very Hawaii. It was a deep astrology dive. Someone got deep.
It sounds very
just
LA.
Going into all different aspects of how we would or wouldn't be compatible what the.
You're saying that on the wrong show. We are believers.
Hey,
we did tarot.
I did
not astrology.
Deep dive because I'm not against it, but if you go really, really deep down that, and I feel like I lose you on almost reality at a certain point, she was a little too far.
Yeah, you can get a little.
So far that I don't think I could explain what we talked about. That's how far it went.
It was another language.
Well, it's kind of like you're worshiping the stars.
It was a little too much, like not even maybe believing in this reality, kind of where it went.
Is that a red flag for you if someone's into astrology?
No, that's what I'm trying to explain. That
right.
I actually like it. I think it's a cool and different perspective. I think it's a nice way to understand how people are kind of their chemical makeup is the whole idea that I think about. But again, when you start questioning reality, I lose you.
So in moderation, everything in moderation.
There's a moderation in everything.
Okay, here's a fun one. Describe your perfect breakup.
Excuse me.
This one's gonna be a 5-minute. You might need to explain what you're writing as you write it. We're gonna run out of time.
It's okay. You can do a summary and then explain.
Mine's like 3 words. Yeah, mine's literally 3 words. If anyone wants to know, Jared's still writing.
You can expand obviously on the 3 words.
You want me to go first?
You go first.
Okay. Mine's simple. Mutual breakup. I think in general that would be what I would always choose is the ability of someone to kind of agree that it's just not there. I would always want it to be like a understanding.
Who comes to the other person first? You realize at the same moment.
Ideally, to be honest, I would say probably the girl because I think it's a little bit more understanding if they do. The guy is a tougher
Every guy's dream is to be dumped.
Yeah. If the ideal situation is the girl brings it up first and you know it was getting there. That's the ideal situation.
Okay.
We
And she just, can we talk?
Yeah, and it starts a
then you're
conversation.
like,
You
I feel
both
the
feel
same
at that time like you're right. The signs have shown like through these last couple of dates, these last couple of weeks we've had, like it's definitely at the point where
Okay.
we needed to have this.
Good
talk.
answer,
But
good
the girl bringing it always makes it a lot easier.
Joey just said exactly what I was thinking.
Love it.
I
Well,
mean,
I feel like you're going to paint a more detailed picture.
I'll give a detailed picture. I go to her. I go, we got to talk. She says, stop everything you're going to say. We then go down on one another. Okay? Just no sex. Just one last. She goes, one last go.
Why no sex?
It's too personal.
Okay.
Too intimate.
Too intimate.
Okay.
And then
Everything but. Okay.
And then she looks at me and I go, should we talk now? She goes, you don't have to say another word. She puts her finger up in my mouth. She goes, shh. And then she goes, good luck with everything. Gone forever.
And you never hear from her again.
We never hear from one another.
Okay. She never hears from you. You never hear from her.
Just a clean break.
Wow.
Mutual breakup.
That has never happened in the existence of all
No.
people.
Are we allowed to dream?
Yeah, that's a
no,
dream.
This is a dream. This
Yeah,
is the
this-
perfect breakup. The
Right.
Perfect
You
breakup.
said the perfect
Yes.
breakup.
Yeah.
You know,
That was-
mutual breakup. Yeah, but that's what Joey meant.
My answer
yours-
sucks compared to yours. That
And
was
yours,
amazing.
she's breaking up with you?
I go, we got to talk. So we
You didn't even get a chance.
Didn't even get a chance.
Okay.
And she goes, shh.
The finger was the biggest part.
Yeah,
That was the most important.
Then she goes, leads me to the bed.
Okay.
I go first. I'm a gentleman. I go down on her first. Then me.
Okay.
Then I go, we still got to talk. Shh. Good luck with everything.
I even liked it better if it was just good luck.
Right.
That was it.
Yeah.
Not even with
No,
everything.
Don't even need
Right.
Just good
right
luck.
He's editing the show.
We write to edit.
Love
We
it.
write to edit.
Okay.
This is Joey and I knew we were going to get along.
Okay. What is or was your go-to dating app opener, realizing you've only been on Hinge for a week?
Yes. That was not what opener.
Or you could do a bar opener if you had more of those.
I have no game. I want you to.
You ever been
make
to a
that be
bar?
known. I've never been to a bar before.
That's what the,
Hey, what you
the Bachelor
drinking?
needs. The only way they can find someone clean enough for the show is to go to a remote island where there's
How
no
are they going
access
to do? I got on that. How are they going to do Golden Bachelorette? How are they going to find 20 men in their 70s with no backstory?
I think it's going to be a very interesting ride.
I agree.
I'm excited.
There's no way.
Yeah. It's
With not one Facebook post about the election. Like, are you out of your mind?
Yeah, that's going to be a tough one. Again, they have to go to Kauai,
Right. Those DMs, are they're going to have to go
a
Facebook
remote
message?
village in.
We found these men who have been off the face of the earth.
Let's go. Let's see your pickup line.
Okay, I'm
very
ready.
excited here.
Okay, and then I'm going to ask you my pickup line.
I would love to see it.
Okay.
Tell me your
Tell me your Chinese
that's
order.
Okay.
That's
Okay.
good.
I
Good
want a
one.
soup, app, starch, main.
Starch. Is that different than a main?
Yes.
That's
We're already not a match,
Starch,
Jordana.
We know this.
The lo mein rice question.
Okay.
So, Joey, what's your Chinese food order? Soup?
I don't even know what a soup would be for my Chinese order. I never get soup.
Wonton
I'd get
soup?
Never get a soup.
no, so that might judge me
Wow.
right there. But no
We're not
wonton
Saying
soup.
no soup.
I'm out. Okay.
No
Spring, maybe
soup.
spring. Can you replace it with a spring
I was
roll?
You can
gonna
replace
say-
it. You can dance around the
I
menu.
was gonna say I would go for a wonton. Would probably be like a maybe a crab rangoon or some type of wonton would be my go-to.
Now you're working your way back into my
Way
good
back.
graces.
Yes.
Okay.
Appetizer would be along the same line. So one of those two. So I'll do the dumpling, the crab rangoon. Starch. What do you mean by that? Like
Like
what,
a
my
lo
main?
mein or a rice.
I would
Which
either
one
go.
would you pick?
I would go fried rice or lo mein. One of those two,
Speaking
but
like
probably
someone with
more lo mein than the fried.
You'd go
rice.
lo mein,
because the
okay.
main would have the rice on the side, and mine would be.
He's economical. This
Let's
is a
go
good.
with the sesame chicken. That's
You wrote this out like someone with a nutritionist.
I know it was almost too good.
Where's your fruit
I've
serving?
been to a nutritionist before. I'm going wonton soup.
I can see that.
Good choice.
I'm going. App is going to be spare ribs, well done, cut short.
Wow,
Starch, house fried rice, extra bean sprouts.
you're high maintenance.
Interesting.
Yes, I am. And then the main, I go like a chicken and cashew, chicken and peanuts type of vibe.
Okay.
That's always where I stray towards.
Do
I like
women
that.
answer this?
Yeah, this is a great
They
question.
answer the whole thing.
The more they get into it, the more I like them.
I think it's
wow.
a really good way to start conversation, though. That's the hardest part about when you start, which is why, again,
You really get a sense of someone's
I
values.
have no game. This is what
You
I
do
would
a high?
do. I
Okay.
love the sunglass emoji.
Now
I love
no
it.
offense. Now I know why you didn't do well on the ass.
Yeah. Tell me this doesn't give you the ick in real time.
When you have
just
the
very-
build of
yeah.
a tennis player,
This is all you need.
yeah, you don't
Right,
need much.
That is a person that's built for apps and someone who is
That's
not.
right. Clean
Hey.
Xbox energy, me.
Yep, there it is.
Okay. Well, good thing you made it on The Bachelor.
That's right.
It's the only way I was going to succeed.
All right. What is your protocol the day after sleeping with someone for the first time?
What's a Sunday morning with JoJo like?
First time.
Okay.
Yeah, this is.
Jared's going to describe this like he described his birthday, which is every single day of the year.
I feel like I should go first again because
You go first.
I
All right,
love
let's
I
hear it.
love hearing how he's like.
Okay.
It's the
See how
same,
it's different.
But then it's
Yeah.
different.
Okay.
Mine would be definitely at least some type of breakfast or coffee, like offering it and seeing where their day is going, because I think that is what changes. Like we could be going into the same thing the next day, and I'm not against doing something with them, but most likely it's gonna be figuring out what their day is, and then after breakfast or coffee, kind of parting ways.
Okay. And is this the same whether you're interested in seeing them again or not?
Probably not. If I'm not as interested, I'm not gonna like obviously probably try to further conversation as much. But again, that's very rare that I just cut it off right then and there. I probably usually at least go on one more date. I think that's a little tough.
That's nice. Never. You get
But not leading
you
not
get a,
leading
you
on
get a complimentary date.
Not leading on with, yeah. It's not a complimentary date. I wouldn't say it's more along the lines of let's maybe just figure it out. But yeah, I don't know. That's not something I usually.
But do you look at breakfast the next day as like, this means I'm in love?
No, I think that it's so situational.
Getting to know someone.
Yeah, I think
Right.
that however that happened the night before, you kind of just want to get to know them probably a little bit more after
Right.
too.
Right.
But that is a very big if on how the night went would
Right.
change
Just
that.
how long would you text them that night regardless?
Yeah. I'm not gonna leave them hanging. That's just rude.
This is something we've discussed.
I guess I'm wrong on that.
Yeah.
I don't like that.
I think we have a similar answer.
All right. Let's.
Okay.
let's
This is
see
why I
yours.
wanted
I
to go
wake
first.
up, we gently cuddle.
Oh, that's
Okay.
a good
How long?
answer.
How long?
As long as it feels right. Well, as long as the next thing happens, something spicy.
Ooh.
Okay.
Right? Because
How long it takes
cuddling
you to get
tends
there?
to lead to, big dog gotta eat.
Is this?
This is a better answer
Does
already.
this matter
I'm
if
in.
you're again? I want both versions. Either
Into it?
not into it.
Well, again, not into it is a
I feel
strong
like-
answer. I feel what Joey's kind of dealing with, where it's like, we get a lot of questions on this podcast where like, oh, in the next morning, he was so nice. That does not equal boyfriend.
Right. Or
there's-
not.
if-
It's more
if-
like not nice.
Sometimes it feels like
Not
women
nice,
think that
you
a
know
guy's going
what's
to get up
going
and be
on.
like, "You whore," and spit on you and then leave. And that's not how we feel.
That doesn't
Right.
happen.
But I do think that like if I slept with someone and then they asked me to go to breakfast, I'd be like, this person is interested. In
And
me.
that's the thing is that's where I said coffee or breakfast. Maybe that is the truth of it. It will probably be
Right.
a little bit shorter. But again, his answer
only coffee.
Right.
If there's only coffee, if you're
Jared's
not
answer
into it.
wins.
Right,
Okay.
coffee. Someone's gonna go to Joey's, but why am I drinking coffee right now? I gently cuddle, leading to something spicy, then something sweet. Breakfast,
good.
coffee,
Okay.
Uber waiting for you.
What the hell is
We're
Neptune?
waiting for
The
we don't-
Uber
no
is
discussion.
outside.
No
No
What does
discussion.
Neptune mean?
I've ordered an Uber. So after the something sweet, I go to the bathroom for way too long. Then I order.
hoping they just get the hint.
No, the Uber's been ordered.
He's been in there for hours.
Hey, I want to get you an Uber. That's the something sweet. Let me
okay.
do something nice.
All right.
So we go gently cuddle, something spicy, something sweet, which is
Nice.
going to be like breakfast, coffee, also
Okay.
Uber included.
How do you broach the Uber subject?
Hey, what are you doing today? Is
Yeah,
a really
that's
good
why-
way.
You're
That's
not
right,
staying
word.
here. I'll
Right.
tell you what you're not doing.
What you got to be first to what are you doing today?
Yeah. What's the day look like
What's
is a
the-
great start.
That is a very
If someone said, "What's the day look like?" I'd be like, "Oh, they want to hang out today."
See, and
not
that's,
feeling you out.
But then that's where the conversation goes. After you ask
Right.
that question, then the
Right.
conversation goes.
If they're like, I have absolutely nothing going on today, you go, fuck.
well,
Now
I
you
do.
gotta
I
figure
gotta have
out
to
what
get
you're
creative
fake
here.
doing today, right?
Yeah, but if they're like, well, I got this plan with friends, which is what people usually say, I would say. Like
Right.
people go, well, I had like this friend here and that friend
What
there.
do you think I should do? Like the other
You
guy.
think? Yeah. And then you're like, well, awesome. Sounds like you have the morning free. You want to go get coffee? There's a place down the street. And then that's now we're out. And then it's like, hey, I'd love to get you. I'll get you Uber.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think that. Do you always get the Uber for a
we
lady?
were having a debate about this before.
The Uber. I
Yeah.
don't, again, you're putting me in a position I probably haven't been in that much.
Right.
That's the problem. The Ubers aren't a thing in Hawaii.
Really?
No, not really.
Interesting.
Lyft?
Lyft? No.
No.
Neither. I'm realizing
What?
that I
Call a
thought that you
taxi?
said Neptune on the bottom and it said nap,
Nap
time.
time.
That just clicked to me. I
Well,
was like,
after
what
they're
the
in the
hell is
Uber-
Neptune?
They drive cars? Is it bikes, Vespas?
No, I mean I'm probably driving. I'm probably dropping her
You
off,
driving her
or
home?
she drove herself, something like that. I'm not
Okay.
sure.
What do you drive?
When I was in Hawaii, I had a '96 4Runner. It's like the ideal island car.
That's a
Cool.
good-looking dude car. That's that's a good car.
All right. On our last question.
No punch buggy.
No punch
No.
buggies here.
Our last question. On a scale of 1 to 100%, what percent away from each other do you think you are from dating the same way?
From me,
So
from you.
100%
Like, what percent-
means we're the exact same.
No. Well, 100% apart. So like if 100%
Zero-
means you're nothing alike.
Oh, so
0% is like you guys are the same person.
Okay, got it.
Okay.
What percent away from Jared do you think you are as a dater?
This might be awesome if we have the same answer, but I doubt we will. Because apparently this whole thing is he thinks he's 10%. I'll be spoiler alert, it's not 10%.
Wow. Jorge felt the same way when he played.
I might even
got-
be a little. The thing is like the answers have the same root to them. He just gives a
that's
little
what I-
bit
Yeah.
more of a
Yeah.
real answer. I'm even
I
talking
would
myself
say-
out of my percentage. Give me one sec.
And I'm being different now, having the Jorge episode in my rear view mirror. Like I'm being more honest with myself.
I will be honest.
And
I was told to look at like some of these questions just to get prepared, and
Yeah.
you did better than I thought
Well,
you would.
thank
That
you. I
was-
appreciate
You've
that.
grown.
I would
Jared.
say there's one big difference,
Okay.
and I can feel it
Between this.
between him and I that,
Okay.
that I'm it's
Besides the age.
making my percentage change.
I really hope we get on the same one here. This
I'm
would be
excited
awesome.
to see.
Okay.
And I'll be interesting because just a little higher.
All
Just
right.
a little
I
bit.
had 20%.
20.
And I
20%.
had 30. It was
Okay.
40 initially, but then I talked myself down.
I was at 2.
Okay. You were 2.
That zero
What
was
were you
just
with
the last
Jorge?
second.
Yeah.
5?
I
you
said
put-
5 from Jorge.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I think he's 10% away from Jorge.
I think he's in between Jorge and I.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So you had 5, so we'd say somewhere about 15, 20, 30. Where are we at then? What
So
would your
I'd be
guess
20% from you. I think I'm 40% from Jorge.
And
a
what
lot of
would
math
and
going
what
on.
would you say?
About myself?
No, from what you
Oh.
saw, what would you say the percentage?
That's a good question.
You never had it flipped
I
on
usually
you,
I
have you?
haven't. Yeah, now I'm in the hot seat.
Yeah.
Here we
Come
go.
and get me viral Instagram video.
Yeah.
I guess I could just
Spell Ruth Bader Ginsburg.
Or
share.
she's gonna put it
I
down.
don't know.
I love it.
Throw it down.
I'm gonna split the difference.
Yeah, that's easy.
I
way
think that's
out.
the move. I think that's
easy way out.
25%.
Well, I like what Joey
Yeah.
said because it is the heart of it is
Yes.
we could see that, you know,
You also say how it is a lot more than I do.
well, I'm allowed to.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's what we're here to do.
Yes, exactly.
He's not under contract.
you got, Mickey Mouse standing behind you, just ready to, shake you up. But this was fantastic.
This was awesome.
It was.
Thank you so much for
No,
coming
thanks
on.
for having
You
me. This
made
was
my
fun.
birthday.
Hey
This
man,
is.
that's all I can hear. That's great. And happy birthday again. I hope it is
Thank
gonna
you.
be a
So
good
what are you
one.
gonna do, New York? You're here in the city.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna. We aren't gonna. We don't. I don't want to know what happens on the season has been great. Let me tell the listeners right now, listeners, watchers. I mean, we'll go to Plug City. This is a very personal plug for me because if you win, I win.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
I have a podcast that talks about The Bachelor. I yell at it on my
Recap
Instagram.
it, yeah.
So I want the show to be successful, and sometimes you got to fake it. There's no faking. It's a great season. If you want to replay the season, you can go to my YouTube, my Instagram, watch every episode with me and catch up. So I can give you the quick catch up to get into Joey's season that is saying right now, it says it ends in a lot of drama, which is what we want. I'm sorry that you went through some
Okay,
drama.
it's okay. I think
We
there's
want
just
the
going to be
drama.
there's going to be a great ending. I think there's still a lot left, but I appreciate you saying those kind words. I've been happy with how it's looked so far.
It's been really great from you've handled it well. You've been, I said, total gentleman, all that stuff. Like people need to take notes on you for the next
That's
Bachelor.
what Jared told me.
I said
asked
that
for
off.
the rundown. Yeah, even behind. That's what he said behind your back.
That's
Right.
amazing.
That's how you know.
That's how you know it's real.
So-
But yeah, as for plans for New York, we got a few more press things. My sisters are coming into town here later this weekend, so I'll be able to spend some time with
that's
them. But
fun.
yeah, just trying to take it all in and enjoy myself. But this has been fun today.
You're not a
appreciate you guys
drinker.
having me. I am.
Okay.
No.
Let it be known.
Excuse me.
No, I'd say I'm not a partier, but I do like to drink. So
What do you have? What do you drink? Because
my
you
go-
always. It seems like on the show you're like.
we talked about that. Remember, I told you it's always the vodka soda makes it look like I'm not drinking, but that's
Right.
just because they gave me that non-ice that one time.
You did DM me. He had a whole cup of. It was like one lime on the side, no ice.
Oh wow.
And it looked like a water, and I was like,
And it's
it
the
actually was a
opposite of how
vodka
I
soda.
order a drink. I'm like extra ice, extra vodka.
No, I was smart on this season just because I found out pretty early on how much you have to talk. It's not even just talking to the women. Like there's toast, there's
Gotta
things you
stay
have to
hydrated.
say. And I was like, oh my god, no one needs to see this. Then no one wants to see me flubbing over a speech. Like I wanted to keep as strong minded as I could, but
Right.
no, drinks is a social lubricant. I love it. Anytime I get the chance, sign me up.
All right. So listen, this was great. Thank you for all the
Thank
time.
you so
This
much.
was so
This
Thank
was
you,
nice.
guys.
awesome.
And we'll be back next week.
Boom.
Oh.
The You Up podcast is produced by Jorge Morales-Pico, Sean Kilby, and Candice Maniga. Editing by Jorge Morales-Pico and Shannon Sassone. Social media by Candice Maniga. Guest booking by Ali Friedlander. Be sure to follow at u.up.podcast on Instagram and send us your emails to uup@betches.com.